very similar approach. This is the idea and the team behind it, or this is the product and the team behind it, and we want to integrate our idea or our service into blockchain because we believe that decentralization that blockchain technology brings takes us further, and that's why we are looking for more investment. But instead of giving our shares, we are going to give you our tokens. That's why it's called initial coin offering, tokens or coins. And that way you'll hold a portion of our future success. And in this case, there are several different tokens. Some could be utility. I think in your case, Kinguin's case, it will be a utility token. Some is more like a security, like an asset. And some has also other structures. So people basically look at the company, understand why they are using decentralization, blockchain that brings, and then if they believe in the team and the idea behind it, then they buy their coins, and usually during the ICO. And after that, that coin goes into exchanges, and either they sell early, like let's say you buy $1,000 worth of coin, and then you sell it $1,000 200. So you have 20% upside, and then you sell it, you forget it. Or you really believe in the whole thing, you say, okay, I'm not going to sell it, I'm going to hold it, because this company is going to grow, and this token will be more precious. There will be more value to holding it. And there's also that kind of people as well. And there are some good examples, like Icon. If you invested into Icon ICO, I think 6 months back, now you have 40 times return. So let's say if you put $1,000, it is today $40,000. So there are another good examples. There are also bad examples. There are some ICOs where you have the half of your investment. So the interesting thing about ICOs and angel investment, and I did lots of angel investment, around 20, and out of that 20, 16 is gone. Like the money is gone, vaporized. The companies fell, people escaped, get away, all the bad stories. But with the ICOs, the worst thing could happen that you could lose maybe 40%, 50% of your money. If you pick carefully, then some bad stuff happens. Because you can sell it at the exchange to a lower price, and then because you just want to get rid of it. That's kind of not that bad compared to angel investment, because angel investment is either zero or some numbers. But in ICO, it's either half price or some numbers. It's kind of bad.
You've mentioned two groups that people are divided in. One is the group that invested into the right ICO and now they're happy and rich. The other are those who are not that lucky and they lost their money, at least half of it. If you were to be judged, like with a simple judge, which group is bigger in your opinion right now?
Of course the second one, because exactly what other speakers have said. There's always a science behind it, usually. With startups and entrepreneurs, but with the current ICO hype, there's sometimes it's just luck. It's just pure luck. You cannot. I was checking some of the white papers of the first blockchain companies, and we were talking about. Look at the team. There's no team on the white paper. They didn't even put a team page on the white paper, but they are super successful. So the challenge right now with the whole blockchain and ICOs. The rules are not defined because the industry is just getting started. So what is the right type of doing an ICO? There are lots of questions to be answered. But in most of the cases, those questions are the right questions. And most of the people don't ask those questions. So they usually go to an ICO review website, like some of them, and then see, this is a highly rated ICO, and then they search on Twitter. There are lots of accounts saying that, oh my god, I entered this ICO, this is going to moon, I'm going to buy a Lamborghini and stuff like that. And then people get hyped and then they put their money. This is the wrong way of doing it. The right way of doing it, at least asking maybe 20 different questions to that ICO. What is the team? What is the idea? How they are going to use the decentralization? What is the value of the token? Why it's going to increase in time? are the founders of the startup lock their tokens? Because most of the tokens stays within the company, even they do an ICO. So are they going to dump their coins? Are they going to lock those coins for 4 years? How is the vesting works? How they are going to spend the money that they are getting from ICO? So there are lots of questions to be asked, which is very similar to becoming an angel investor. The good and interesting thing about ICOs is democratizing of the investment. So if you're let's say if you're enthusiastic about real estate, and then you see a real estate blockchain solution, this is something you can understand, you can relate, then you can invest in it. Now even with one Ether, which is $800, but in reality, if you see a really good startup, and then you say, hi, I want to invest, I have $800, they're like, sorry. So this is the good part for me, because even with a small amount of money, you can become an investor, and you can get some returns, or you can learn about being an entrepreneur. And I think that will be the good benefit going forward. More people become they become more entrepreneurial. So we will see more startups, and of course the 80% of startups going to fail, which is the global universal ratio, and out of that 20, maybe 10%, which is the 2% of the total, will be really successful. And those 2% will change the game. It always happens like that.
You mentioned changing the game, and that's the fact. Blockchain is the revolution, let's call it like this, but the revolution needs proof of concept.
True.
What kind of implementation that works would you mention?
I think the whole idea of blockchain is about trustless systems, so like decentralization and removing the middleman. So if I look at the real estate business, for example, so if you invest in a utility token decentralization real estate project, you can have one slice of a house in Miami, and then you can have one slice of a house in Istanbul, then you can have one slice of house in Dubai with your tokens. And then you can get the return of the sales or the rentals of those houses. This could be a good idea. Or imagine the whole airplane tickets business. Every company has their own database and data system. So you cannot like change your ticket if you are too late, you have to pay the fine. Or you cannot switch your airplanes. If you decentralize the whole airplane ticket business, then I have my tokens and my tickets, and I can switch my tickets to another plane, another place, another air brand using my tokens. So the decentralization helps for the consumer. So this is also a good idea. Or a really good idea is using AI to like collecting facial recognition data and keeping it on a decentralized network. That's why everyone can have an access and can confirm a person's identity globally. And one thing we talked before is that KYC. So the KYC is know your customer process. And every bank in the world has that process. But it's not decentralized, it's centralized. So one bank do it for themselves, another bank do it for themselves. So each time you go to a bank, start opening an account, you go from the same process. What if those services are decentralized? That's what Civic or the Key does right now. So there are really good real life examples.
Okay, so apparently you are putting into the same basket different things like cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and ICO.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's harmful for blockchain technology as both cryptocurrencies and the failed ICO has a very bad PR, and the blockchain actually should be like something that people love, but it's not like this. They are scared.
No, I think these are different concepts. So let's say you are using .NET technology to create your own software, and then your company failed. You don't blame Microsoft for your failure. So that's blockchain. It's the platform. It's the language. And then the idea is yours. The team you create, and then the progress is your responsibility. So I think blockchain is the technology, the language behind it. The ICO is the process behind it. But in the end, it's all about the idea and the team. And doing the ICO is very similar to launching your own company. It's not easy. It's not simple. Right now, I'm working with lots of local and global ICOs as a marketing advisor, and we are seeing so many wrong things going on, like white papers not telling about why this token should exist, which is the first question. Why I'm going to buy, why I'm going to invest. So there are lots. I mean, we have a list of around 120 questions to be answered on a clear white paper to be successful. So things like that. So it's not that easy.
Okay, thank you very much.